Hello YouTube friends. I know it has been a while since I've been here, but we are into a new year and making new resolutions, and I promise you guys I am going to be more diligent in posting some videos for our homestead. So much is going to be happening this year that I just got to put it on video for, if not for you guys, for me. But I want to bring you guys along on our journey in 2026 about all the great things we're going to be doing. So January kicks off two things for me: Canuary and a no shop pantry challenge. And the no shop pantry challenge is actually from Jessica on Three Rivers Homestead. She has a YouTube channel. I'll link her channel down below so you can get the whole details on what the no shop pantry challenge is. It is not required to do in January. You can do it any time of the year you want, but January is the quietest month. It is, you're not doing gardening, you're not doing a lot of animal husbandry, things like that, and so it makes it a lot easier to do it in January. I prepared myself in December to buy things that I think will last at least a month, and then we will cook meals entirely from scratch at home. We're not going to go out to eat. We're not going to go grocery shopping. We're not going to buy anything that we don't have in this house. I have 4 dozen fresh eggs that I get to use. Plus I have around 2 dozen water glassed eggs, and I have a very large 1-gallon bag that is filled full of single serve, like, oh, I don't have the eggs, but I'll give you an example. They're like this. This is actually not eggs. This is buttermilk, but I have little bags like this in my big freezer full of whisked raw eggs that we can use for all kinds of breakfasts. So to not shop, I am going to utilize all my recipe books. And for today, we're going to use Rea Drummonds Dinner Time. And we're going to make a skillet lasagna. It looks so good. I have everything. So let me show you it. This is the skillet lasagna that we're going to do. I am making a slight modification to this recipe. 1, I'm not going to use mozzarella. I am going to use queso. And 2, I am going to be using homemade pasta, because for Christmas I got a pasta machine for my KitchenAid, and I'm so excited to try to use this. So let me run you through what the ingredients are for this skillet recipe, and then I'll let you know what else I'm going to be doing. So with the skillet lasagna right here, I will need 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1.5 pounds of ground beef. I'm going to use 1 pound because that's how I package mine. I'm not going to split one to make 1.5 pounds, so I'm just going to use 1 pound. 2 garlic cloves minced. I love garlic. I'm going to add extra. 1 24-ounce jar of marinara sauce. Now, I can my own spaghetti sauce in quart jars, so I'm just going to use a quart jar. 1 tablespoon of Italian seasoning, and I season my spaghetti sauce pretty heavily, so I don't think I'm going to need that. Salt and black pepper, and 1/2 cup of sour cream at room temperature. 1/2 cup of grated fresh mozzarella, and again, I'm going to be using queso. 12 ounces of cooked bow tie pasta, and again, I'm using my homemade pasta. And then 8 basil leaves chopped. And that is the entire recipe. That's all the ingredients, and then I'll show you how we put it together. I'm also going to be cleaning out my freezers because I need to make room for a hog. So today's adventure is to turn relish that I have in my freezer. It's actually pickles that were from the jar, that I'm now using for my water glassed eggs, and I just diced them up and I threw in my freezer back in, I think, June. So I'm going to be canning a little container of that, and I have 1 gallon bag left of grapes that I'm going to turn into grape juice. So let's get started on this. All right, so we're going to start by putting some avocado oil in. That one's about empty. Let me grab the other one. I'm going to add our minced garlic. Cook it. Get the aromatics in there, you know. Probably want to put some diced onions in there. I love diced onions. So, in goes some onions. Because why not? Cook that up just for a minute or so, and then we're going to add our ground beef, salt, pepper. So I'll add the ground beef. This is 1 pound. In her book, it says 1.5 pounds. What's a half a pound? Drop in some pepper. And some salt. Take my ground beef cutter, and as you can see, well, you can't see, I'll pan you up a little bit. Grape juice is really starting to foam. And if some of you ask, yes, I have a stove here, but I'm using a little skillet, a little burner, because we're remodeling our home and the stove doesn't work yet, but it will this year. We have all the stuff we need. We just have to wait for it to warm up a little bit so we can work outside. All right, get this meat all cooked up. And while we're waiting for the ground beef to finish getting all cooked up, I'm going to take this queso and I'm going to put it in a bowl and I'm going to crumble it with a fork. I don't see any reason to shred it up when it'll just melt anyway, so I'm just going to bust it up into smaller pieces. I don't know if you've ever had queso. With some good cheese. Got a little bit of a tangy flavor like we need for mozzarella. So much easier to deal with. I like ease, ease, ease. And if I have to make modifications to a recipe, I do that. I don't know if you've ever cooked from her cookbooks. If you have, put down some recipes you really like from Rea, and I will give them a try. Might be next month when I can go shopping. Unless I have all the items here at home. All right. This will melt in really nicely into the skillet meal. Let's go check on that beef and see where we're at on that. Whoops. Looks like it's cooking up nicely. Now you have an option. You can drain off the grease. I don't think I have a whole lot. I might just stick a paper towel in there and just grab up a little bit of it. Once this is cooked, right, so next up is to put your marinara or your spaghetti sauce in. Pop my lid. It smells good. Pour that in. I don't want to add any more water because I got fresh pasta, not dried pasta, so I need to be careful on how much liquid I put in. Give that a stir. I'm going to give it a taste to see if I actually need to add any of my seasonings in. Actually, it doesn't. Ooh, and that garlic is, I got a piece of garlic. Woo! Strong piece of garlic. That does not need any of the Italian seasonings because I seasoned my spaghetti sauce a lot. So I don't need any. I might put a little bit more salt in it. But it doesn't need any Italian seasonings whatsoever. So I get to put all those away. We'll let this cook down a little bit. Then we'll move on to the next step. I'm going to put a little ground nutmeg. I know I put it in my spaghetti sauce. I'm going to put some nutmeg in there. Stir it in. It's almost ready for the next step. Just got to make sure the chopped chives get all nice and hydrated. I'll put some chopped chives in there. That I am going to do. Next step, which is to add a half a cup-ish sour cream. This is a 1 cup measure. It's not all the way full, but it's close, only because I really love sour cream. I will stir this in until it's well combined. And because I'm not going to pre-cook my pasta and then put it in here, I'm going to cook my pasta in here because it's fresh. So it's going to take a little bit longer than Rea Drummonds' recipe because she says to put in the cooked bow tie pasta. I have bow tie pasta, but I want to use my fresh pasta and see how good it comes out. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. All right, now we add in the cheese. And again, I'm deviating. She uses mozzarella, I'm using queso. I'm going to wait for this to melt a little bit, the cheese, and then I'm going to add the pasta in. I don't have an actual lid for this thing, so I actually put a pizza pan on here as a lid. And then we're going to move on to the grapes because they're just about ready to be strained and canned. All right, let's add the pasta in. Our wonderful fresh pasta. And I really don't care if it breaks. I just don't want it to be a giant clump. So the grape juice is now ready to be strained. The skillet lasagna is almost done. So what I do is I use a fine sieve and then I just grind it up a little bit. These grapes and seeds have done their job, so they actually now go in the trash. Then I'll move on to the next step. So let me finish getting all this done, and I'll show you the next step. So now it's time to add some sugar to taste. That's the reason why I have a spoon. This is a 1/4 cup measure. So I'm going to put a 1/4 cup in. Give it a stir. Dissolve all the sugar. And put a little bit on the spoon. Give it a taste. A little bit more. That needs just a touch more sugar. These are Concord grapes, so again, the most important thing is to taste it. Let's see if that does it. My lasagna is still cooking. It's over there. Because remember, I put raw pasta in there, so it takes a little bit longer. Yeah, I'm going to leave it like that because that gives an option of either making it sweeter or not. So now I'm going to grab my canning funnel. And my ladle. These jars are warm. I warmed them up in my sink with some hot water. Fill it up to about a 1/2 inch headspace. Then I can these for 21 minutes only because when I hit the button it goes from 0 to 1 before it goes to 20. So 21 minutes for me. In my Nesco canner I can fit 4 of these at one time. So let me get these filled up and then I will show you how I load up the Nesco. So I ended up with 5 quarts, 1 pint, and a little glass of grape juice. So now I need to take a paper towel, get it wet, clean the rim, this will be 2 loads in my canner. Grab my lids. I have 1 wide and the rest are regular mouth. Put the rings on. Some of my rings are like not perfect. They don't work well, then I throw them out. Two more rings. And we'll put them in my canner. And get you up higher so you can see. Alright. Because the vent valve is about right here, I have to make sure, because these are tall, that there's a gap there. So I'm only going to do 3. Because these are quartz, they'll do just fine. I don't need to put an extra load in, or an extra jar in there. So now I need to put 8 cups of water. Guys, we're almost done. Just have to do 2 of these. The lasagna is done. The relish is finished. I'm about ready to start my dishwasher, and when that's done, I can put what few dishes I have. I can wash them by hand and just lay them out on the counter. I always like to put a little extra water. My reasoning for that is, say I start this and I go sit down and relax, and it starts to steam, and I don't hear it right away, it gives me a little bit of a grace period to not have to run in here and run my water out. Let's plug this baby back in. Water bath. I'll turn this here so you can see. So, water bath. Here's my time. I'm going to go to 21, 10, 20. Oops. I got 20 minutes. How lucky is that? Hit start. That is it. So now I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup. Let that skillet lasagna, oh, let me get you to me. I'll let that lasagna cool just a little bit before I do a taste test, because I don't want to burn my mouth. So I'm going to do a little cleanup and then I'll be right back. Okay, so the dishwasher is now running. The kitchen is mostly clean. And it is time to try this skillet lasagna. It looks really, really good. Although I think I'm using the wrong utensil to gather everything. Let's give this a taste. Right, got my fork, got my bowl. Also got my grape juice. Let's give this a taste, huh? Get me a piece of noodle. Some of the meat. It's a big bite. It's a big bite. I wouldn't quite say that it's an exact duplicate of like say lasagna, but it's really close. And the grape juice. I always love Concord grapes. It is worth going through with all the seeds to get a really good quality grape juice. Now, it is exactly 3 p.m. Exactly, let me show you. At exactly 3 p.m. I still have these ones to do and the ones that are in there. And I started at noon. So it took me about 3 hours to do a little bit of Canuary and do 1 pantry challenge. And now I have 5 quarts of grape juice on my shelf and a pint. I've got 3 half pints of relish that are going to go on my shelf that I can use to make hot dogs, because we have we have kibasi, so we can have kibasi and relish, and I'll make bread and it'll be really good. And we have our first pantry challenge, nothing bought prior to, I think most of this was bought like in early December, but it was so good. Thanks for coming along for day 1 of Canuary and Pantry Challenge. I hope you come back for many more days, and until next time, bye.